Hello and welcome to episode 120. I like a round figure. 120.
Tidy.
Tidy, Gary, tidy. Of the Tea and Trails podcast, we've got a special intro for you this week. This was the brainchild of an amazing lady and ultra runner called Kerry. She couldn't do the introduction herself because she can't talk because cancer has paralysed her vocal cords. She designed a 21-mile route for us all and got round smiling, despite a body that really shouldn't have been able to. She would love you to play this. This is from our friend of the pod, Lucy Gossage, sending this in.
Hello and welcome to the Tea and Trails podcast. This is Lucy Gossage here with Team Move Against Cancer. We're in the Shropshire Hills. We're walking 21 miles. Say hi, everyone. Woo! Thanks, Tea and Trails.
Kerry, that is amazing. Well done. Thanks for sending us the intro. 21 miles. Thank you so much for the intro and big love to you, Kerry, and everybody against Move Against Cancer charity as well. Gary, I did something mega yesterday. I joined this thing called Patreon.
Oh, do you want a big sweaty hug and kiss?
Too right I do.
Oh, yes.
Hook her up, baby cakes. £3, and I cheekily added it to my Precision Fuel Hydration basket and got loads of money off.
I felt really guilty though because I'm technically not a Patreon. Shame on me.
Oh, shame on you. It's mainly because you are so secretive with you don't give anyone those codes. And I always have to ask you for them. And I think Bryn's like, don't give her the codes, don't give her the codes. And you also won't let me know the password for Patreon, so I can't get on it. So I can't see what you're doing.
Is that why I got a some
yes,
secret
because I was like, let me in. And then I realised that you were probably having a nice bank holiday. It was like, I was like constant, I was knocking at all your doors and windows.
I thought we were being hacked, Eddie. I thought someone was trying to infiltrate us.
I'm just going to join. And then I can see what he's up to as well. If he actually does anything over there, or he's just like, it's just a blank page. Eddie, I'm working really hard on Patreon.
Oh, you're delivering great content.
Anyway, yeah, I didn't realise we had quite as many partners as we do. Oh, there's a list. And because it's May, I got the blessed job of reading the list of all the people that partner with us and can you enjoy discount code? I think I enjoyed it when I pressed it in my Precision Fuel Hydration. I shouldn't bundle and I was like, discount, add your coupon. I'll have my coupon.
I hope I've got them all on this list. I did double check yesterday just to make sure it was up to date.
I'll open my Patreon app and just check as you're reading it out.
You've got Precision Fuel and Hydration over there, X Miles, Phoenix Light UK, Protein Rebel, Vela Forte, Tiki Boo, Mountain Fuel. It was funny talking about Tiki Boo. Lisa's got these Larry tights and she was like, just once in a while, I'd like to wear some black tights. But every running tights she's got is like really
sensational.
Fun.
I love it.
Mountain Fuel, Outdoor Active, Silver Sweden, Active Route, the Centurion Running Store, About the Run, sportshoes.com, Big Bobble Hats, Fawnside Farm Cottages, Summits, Ugogo Projects, Hellfire Events, Red Bear Sports, the Alban App, Retainer Group, Cycle Protection, Summit Crazy, Beat It Sports, Lumi Activewear, Glow Map. Oh, I've got my Glow Map. It's out of focus, but you can just see it on the back wall there.
Can't really see it, no.
Glow Map, Bridgedale Socks, Nav4, NAC Nutrition, Flamin' Phoenix, One Good Thing, Save Our Souls, Primus Stoves, Talk Nutrition, Life Jacket, Skin Protection, and Ultra Trails 2. What a list. My goodness me. Or you can protect yourself from the sun. You can buy nutrition. You can do a navigational course. You can protect your bike. You can get some sensational socks and caps. It's all going on over there. And if you want a lovely break in the Lake District, you can go to Fawnside Farm Cottages too. Incredible value, all for the price of a cuppa. But don't forget, if you would like a snood or a bobble hat, put your address in, Eddie. No snood or bobble hat.
I'm not giving you my address. You'll be round here. No
and you do
way.
need to add your address to Patreon. No address, no goodies.
Thanks to X Miles Precision Fuel Hydration, Harrier Trail Running, Phoenix Lights UK and Protein Rebel for sponsoring this week's show. X Miles is a family-owned, independent endurance sports retailer that provides nutritional goods, apparel and accessories to help athletes perform and recover at their best. X Miles offer a wide range of high-quality products from leading brands, and their team of nutrition experts, cyclists, runners and outdoor enthusiasts can provide expert advice and guidance to help you reach your goals. Whether you're a seasoned athlete or just getting started, X Miles is the perfect place to find everything you need to succeed. Listeners can get 10% off at www.xmiles.co.uk via the link in the show notes. And I've seen a few people asking for discount codes for various things. So never forget where.
Oh, too much.
Oh, too much. Take that. If you're looking for something, check X Miles don't stock it because you can use the discount code as well. So I saw somebody looking for what was it? Chorus watch, I think.
Chorus, yes. I'm not too sure of all the models of Chorus watches they do, but they do stock Chorus, and it works on a Chorus, which is a massive saving. Loads of quarter sensors too.
Are there? I thought they were sold out for a while.
I'm not too sure if the ones are still available. I'm still rocking the one.
I'm happy with the one. I'm not upgrading. And I also actually I'm almost done with it, Gary, because I'm dialed in. I don't need it to tell me.
I love when you gamify an app though, just chasing those numbers. That's right.
I just chasing them. I've been through a corset. I have had to say goodbye to it. I didn't mind the smell because who cares? The material I'd actually gone through the material.
Rotten it.
I'd rotten the
toxic
suit.
Sweat, Eddie. I love it.
That's how toxic I am.
You're like Alien. You know when they wound the alien and all the acid just
No,
drips through all the layers in the spaceship?
That's basically that's my merino tops. Yes. Another question for you, Gaza. Have you entered? I'm a Patreon now, so you should enter the race. Have you entered the Teen Trails Ultra? What distance are you going to be doing? What are you stepping up to?
Flexing every time.
Flexing. I was thinking maybe we need to, like, how we're going to plan this out, because obviously we want to see everyone out on the route. We want to be at the finish when people finish. Do we go super early? Do we do the 50K the day before? Just like you and me.
I'd like to wave some people off, obviously with a staggered start. Then people
we want to wave people off.
When they
we want to be at the finish. I'd like to be up at Skiddaw, with a bell, really annoying all the tourists, getting some new Patreons, showing them what they're missing.
Hugging and kissing.
Big sweaty hugs at the top. Everybody that gets at the top of Skiddaw before they turn around, full embrace. Come here. Oh, you, number 167. You haven't, come on.
Whether you wanted or not. Oh, you know what I saw? Because I went to the lakes on Saturday. I drove past, I'm assuming it was 2 campsites for the Great Lakeland 3-day event. So I was just visualising.
You hung your head low and said, sorry, guys.
I drove straight past Fawnside Farm Cottage.
No wonder Shane chose me as his favourite, because you just...
Oh, yeah, that was very diplomatic. I didn't realise the venue was going to be Fawnside Farm Cottages. All the tents as we drove past. It looked incredible. Super sunny weekend.
If you are in the market for big hugs, sweaty kisses, and a lot of miles and fun, head over to www.tntrailsultra.com. You don't need to hang out with Gary and I. I realise that, like my teenage children, they had no interest. And I'm like, knock on their bedroom doors. What are you doing? Do you want to chat? Do you want to come out? Do you want to watch TV together? No, I'm listening to music.
Imagine that.
But you can hang out with other people. We've got Robin Cassidy, we've got Lucy Gossage, we've got Mel Sykes recording with us on the stage, keeping a steady. I'm not sure. Like when I've been running with those 3 girls, some of the stuff that comes out of, well, my mouth mainly, I can't control myself.
It'll be chaos. We need an adjudicator on the stage.
I can just imagine your face as we're chatting, you going,
dreading it already.
Or you're just leaving the stage.
We need an MC.
Oh, that's a good idea. We couldn't ask. We've also got Trish, we've got Russell. So we couldn't ask for, a better lineup of guests as well. We haven't even announced everybody yet, but they bring the good times, but they also bring, the wealth of knowledge as well is incredible. So I just basically will follow them around all weekend going, what are you eating? What are you doing? What shoes are you wearing? What pace are you going off at? Oh, interesting.
You put on the notes here. I wonder what band they would be. I'm thinking a cappella. I could see Russell on the high notes.
Trish on a bass guitar. Lucy would be sort of freestyling with some sort of maracas because no musical talent. Sorry, Lucy. Robin would be the lead singer because she's just kind of cool. You wouldn't know she'd be able to sing, and then suddenly she'd be like...
I could see Robin with her foot on the speaker at the front of the stage with a microphone blasting out a power ballad.
Oh, Mel on the keyboard. Yeah, she can play anything. She can play anything. And then you and I think we're just the groupies, really.
I'd be like Bez from the Maracas.
Moving the speakers around. Anyway, we're getting super excited, and as you can tell, a little bit nervous about that whole weekend.
Very nervous.
But also super grateful to Yugoku Projects for producing our Tea and Trails cap. We love them. Pop over to Yugoku Projects if you'd like one, and don't forget, if you're Patreon, you can receive 20% off.
I've got marathon blues, Eddie. Come down.
No.
Come down.
Say that. Don't say that again. I know.
Oh, baby.
Oh, baby. No, say that again.
I have got marathon. You wonder why we're laughing? This is take 3. they come they come down from the marathon or any event. My goodness me, it's so hot. I had such a blast in London. I wish I could. There was a bit more time between London and Old County Tops. I just needed to percolate. But do you?
You
I
needed
think about
that.
this,
You needed that week, like.
yeah.
Oh.
My mind frame is like, I need to process what
Well,
has
enjoy
happened.
it too, like just like.
Exactly. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, I'm blowing out my arse going up all manner constant on Saturday.
How was that? Was it? Oh,
I love it. Well, I'll get to it in a bit, but yeah, I had such a blast of
Okay.
a day. But my poor legs and my HRV and everything is tanked since. But do you reminisce that week after when I've had a really, really good time? I'll go, this time last week I was
I know.
rubbing
I
deep
know.
heat into my nether regions, or maybe
Drop
the
it.
cramp,
That's exactly it.
the cramp sniper got me, or whatever it was. I'm drinking Stella in King's Cross. It's like, no, yeah, all those moments have gone. But like anybody, I think, maybe not everybody, I've been a grubby, dirty rat. I think I showered Wednesday after the marathon, and that's only because I was actually going out in public. Well, because I'm not running, I wasn't really generating the same kind of...
Wait. Sorry, let's unpack this. So you did you did shower after the marathon.
Oh, yes, sorry. Yes, I did
Okay,
shower.
sorry. I was like, Wednesday.
I knew I had Thirsty Thursday on Thursday, so I thought I'd better shape up. I must have consumed an unhealthy amount of peanut M&Ms.
It's amazing. You are incredible because most people after like they've had a lot of gels, a lot of sweet things, are like, no, I'm going to have, savory peanut butter on toast. That's always my go-to.
I pushed past the quiches and the pies and the sandwiches, and then I went straight on to the peanut M&Ms. The M&Ms are like call out to me. They're like, Gary. Gary.
They're like honey nut cashew. Is that what they are? Those honey nut cashew things, if they're in the cupboard. I knew they were in the cupboard now. And you can eat them at any time of the day. It's not a problem. Morning, noon, night. If they were there now, I'd go and get them now.
Do you want a peanut M&M song? I wrote a song about peanut M&Ms. You don't believe me, do you? I've got it down here.
Let's get Lucy on the maracas.
I don't think Morrissey or anyone's got anything to worry about. But
Okay. I heard his new song, Morrissey's new song. I don't think
Any
he got
good?
anything to no. Right, come on. Let's do this.
This little ditty is called Peanut M&M Groove.
This is true. Did you really? Where is this from? What are you talking about?
ChatGTP. I might edit this out if it's completely terrible. Bear with me. I need a little crunch. I need a little sweet. The peanut chocolate magic is my perfect kind of treat. Yellow bag calling, I can't say no. Pop them one by one, let the flavor flow. I've got 4 verses, bear with me.
Oh my God.
Peanut M&Ms make my day so bright. Sweet and salty, always feeling right. Crunchy little treasures, chocolate coated gold. Peanut M&Ms never get old. Snack time savior, road
God,
trip
he's so
friend.
funny.
The party starts when I tear the bag open. Colors shine, red, blue, and green. But the peanut core is my snack time dream. Take 'em, share 'em, stack 'em high. Pass 'em round, watch the smiles fly. One for me and one for you. Peanut M&Ms are the best snack crew. I'm here all week.
We don't need the band. That is the opening song. You held that tune. Yeah, I missed some of the lyrics because I was just laughing with joy at the song. But I did hear like
It was a gift.
salty and sweet, and one for you, one for me, which we all know is a lie.
Chocolate coated gold, little crunchy treasures. Oh, I just made up the beat, made up the rhythm.
I love the beat. It was really
Incredible.
catchy. You are lost. You should be in marketing. No, I need to unpack this song a little bit more. So are you going to like clip that and send it to M&M's and say...
I've gone straight to Sony with that. Simon Cowell, Britain's Got Talent.
Got talent. With a packet of M&M's on the stage in your red shorts.
I will be dressed as a massive peanut M&M.
And do you sing that little tune as you go to the cupboard to eat some more M&Ms.
George said to Lisa yesterday, like, he never divulged this information with me, but he's like, Dad is singing in the front room, because I did a little practice run. That wasn't just one take.
God, I thought the song was bad. How many people have just listened to that song and thought, what am I listening to?
What am I tuning
What has
into?
the world become? I hope it helps you pass a kilometre, though, in your long run. Right,
Yeah,
okay.
apologies.
You're sad about the marathon, the M&Ms. You've gone actually nuts. Where are we now? What was that? When did you
Thursday.
start running again?
I ran on Thursday. It was Thirsty Thursday, and that was the end of the alcohol. I did have a pint of beer after that run on Thursday. It tasted incredible in the sunshine. Actually, no, apologies. We had a thunderstorm on Thursday, so I was visualising drinking it outside on the veranda, but no, we're all hunkered down inside. Friday, ran 2, felt fine. Then we had a big day, all county tops. I was poop towards the end. I'm trying not to labour too much on how my body felt, because I had just run a marathon the week before. Not even a week before, actually. You ran the marathon Sunday. It was Saturday. So tight towards the end. There's a bit where you come off Old Man of Coniston and you're going down Windrose Pass before you kind of do a bit of reverse Lakeland 100 route, all down tarmac, maybe even like half a mile. You are screaming. Everything hurts. Your knees, my groin. And I've never seen that. There's the bit where you come off Scarfield Pike and you're running towards Cockley Beck. The grass was just crunching under your foot. I've never, ever seen the route so dry. So, a listener at the top of Old Man of Coniston, it's always a treat when you see a listener. And I'll teach you, when you go away for a big adventure, do your dogs look at you?
When I go outside just to the garage with my corset on, they go,
Take me with you.
And I'm like, you can come and sit out there. And I've moved their dog beds out before into the garage and gone, you can come and sit and watch me. And they're like, they've come out and then they just stand there going, what no, I don't want to watch this, Mum. This is disgusting.
But he knows there's a disturbance in the force because my out bag is there. So when I'm having my breakfast, my cup of tea, he puts his little head on my lap, looking at me with his doggy eyes. But then that was a human. When I came home at night, I'd be like really grumpy. Oh yeah, you had a great day, did you?
Yeah, if you came home to me and I'd be like, and I'd had to stay at home working. Oh,
Yeah.
You had a great day, did you? Yeah. Oh, I've just been here, hanging out in my bed, eating bonies. Had a
Not
nice
dogs. Incredible animal.
walk. No, incredible animals. So happy to see you. I love them. I love my dogs so much. I love them more than life itself. Just get their heads and squoosh into
I
them.
can't. Do you ever do this? So even just yesterday, Lisa said, "Oh, Rex is looking really old."
No, we don't even have the discussion.
Close the conversation down.
Close the conversation. They are forever pets. We can't even go there.
I'm wondering why we're so critical also, because I had a phenomenal run last week and then having a kind of a uncomfortable
What
run
did
on
you
Saturday.
expect? I mean, if you'd
I know.
called me up and said, Eddie, how's this going to go? And I would have said, you're going to feel like an absolute.
Out of 10, how's it going to go?
You're going to say 1. 1 is a good mark. We've scored on the board because you're an idiot. So you're going to pay for it.
But why am I
it's
so
always like,
critical?
well, I know. I mean, I'm critical about every single run I do. And then you add in the fact that you've done something mega and then you're like disappointed, constant disappointment.
I'm labouring on like why I can't move so fast on this like 4 hours into this long trail run. Why is everything hurting? And it's like, oh yeah, you just ran a big marathon the week before. Sunday, first heat session, and you'll know, well, maybe you don't actually know, I've seen those numbers slip away big time. I think I went down to the 70s.
Oh no, I wouldn't let that happen. I don't go off the 90 scale now.
In classic fashion, I overdid it. I had the heat strain of
Totally
10.
did. I think I saw 10 miles or something in your heat suit.
Well, I did one with Rex, and that's super easy, just whatever Rex does. But I get home after that 5 miles, and I'm just in the zone.
Yeah.
And I'll do 3 on my own. I'm not too sure, actually. If you go to 10, do you get like a negative score?
I found if I get to 10, which I've only done, I did in the early stages, and then I did it when I think a couple of weeks ago, I did it with Brennan, it was a 10. It just wipes me out for 48 hours.
It's important though. People, like I'm a classic. If I've got an app that gives me a score, I will then try and gamify that whole process.
Well, they're not stupid. They're not stupid, the core people, are they? They're not going to make it and just go, oh, we'll just give you a score. Well done. They've got to make it interesting, otherwise you're not going to use it, are you?
But my point is, if you are out there running and your heat strain is maybe at 7, that's probably the time to pull the plug on the session, because you are still going to keep rising.
Exactly. We all learned that, but you didn't. Okay. So you had a really tiring session on Saturday and then you heat strained on Sunday. I love this. I think that's when I messaged you saying, how are you? And you were like, oh, I'm totally done it.
Times. But I had a sweat breach. It was so embarrassing.
What's a sweat breach? Oh, why are you looking at your crotch?
I'd never done it before. I'm not too sure if it's a change of outfit because I normally like wearing my black Innovate waterproof trousers because it hides all the different sweat. I had some old Montane ones because we've already talked about toxic sweat and I didn't want to perish my race day waterproof bottoms. So I stopped using those.
They don't. No, that's when you use Brins.
But I don't know, too sure. I don't know how I laid up on top. It created this like perfect sweat funnel, and now all the sweat had pooled around my groin, and it basically looked like.
And you were loving it. You were like, dooby dooby doo.
Well, yeah,
poking.
I could feel it trickling down. But you can feel it pooling in your gloves as well. It's quite an incredible sensation.
I've given up on the gloves now. It doesn't make any difference, and it just annoys me, so I don't bother with the gloves anymore.
Okay.
Honestly, it doesn't make any difference.
But
Just
you've been a
feel
bit
more
judgy about
uncomfortable.
non-glove wearers.
I was. Oh my God, yeah, but I'm allowed to say what I want and then change my mind. That's a mother's prerogative, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Not only now do I look like a crazy man running around this heat suit, I look like.
But now people are going to be talking about you on the Facebook neighbourhood. There is a guy
we're not
with a swollen groin running around leaking stuff.
We're not a diverse community. Rewind when I was a kid. If there was somebody running around the village looking like me,
You would be.
all the rumours would be attached to that person.
Well, do you not think they are?
I don't even want to think. I don't even want to think about it. Loads of TV this week. If anybody's interested in
Someone
watching
hasn't
Mob.
got enough to do, everybody.
1, 2, 3.
I don't think I've even turned the TV on.
Oh, pretty.
Oh, poor dee
Mobland, I think that's Netflix. That's oh goodness me, what's his name? Tom Hardy. If people like Tom Hardy, they will enjoy
I
that.
love Tom Hardy, but I don't like the stuff he's in. I need him to just be in some.
Do you
sort
think
of
he's
cowboy
weathering well,
Netflix.
aging well?
He can
Tom?
do whatever he wants. I don't
Okay.
care. Should we ask him to the Teen Trails Ultra and see if he'll join the band?
Oh,
No, sorry,
he could
Robin.
probably
No
sing.
more lead singer. Hey, you're out. Sorry, Robin. Chew it, man.
I wonder any like celebrity runners out there. I know Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's a runner. Any celebs out there that are runners that maybe even listen to the Tea and Trails podcast? You are all
of them.
welcome.
I don't.
Andor, anyone who's a Star Wars fan, definitely. I know some are a bit sketchy these days, but Andor is incredible. I'm pretty sure Russell will be watching Andor. We finished Severance, 10 out of 10 for Severance. And even though there was going to be another series, they give me enough closure on series 2. Sometimes it's always cliffhanger. Like Lost was basically about 10 years of
gave up on
cliffhangers.
that. Yeah, gave up on that. Yeah.
And we are still going strong with the Yellowstone 1923. So I've had a good week, quite low mileage.
How are you feeling now? Are you feeling you're coming back up?
Well, my HRV, I've got a sore throat.
Oh, lordy lord.
Yeah, but I'm okay with that because we've got 2 weeks, got nearly 2 weeks before County Top. So I'd rather have it now
And are you
than this
gonna,
time next week.
Well, we'll talk about this later. I don't even know why we have these conversations and then
I just rip it up, Betty. Boom, rip
hey,
up the-
I'm used to it. I live with 3 children and just listen one ear. And then they come back and they say, so-and-so's mum said I should do this. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. I'm telling you that for the last 3 weeks.
I bet you never thought you'd have a Peanut M&M song today, did you?
Oh, honestly, the last 15 minutes, I've not laughed so much in a long time. The opening Babe comment and then the Eminem song. I think we can finish it now. We don't need to
Top
do
of the
we don't
charts
need
this
to
week.
put
Top of the charts.
We don't even need a guest. That was it. We're just here's a song with Gary.
Mic drop.
Done. Like me. Done, Gary. I'm almost at the end of 2 weeks all by myself. I tell you what, Gary, I'm very happy by myself. I do have 3 kids and 2 dogs. I'm not, but during the day I'm by myself. But I do crave a bit of, what is it, adult conversation? Just an adult response, I think. That's what you miss, is an adult response to normal situations. Then I heard on the radio, I think it was yesterday or something, that loneliness is this equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
Whoa.
And then I was like, well, am I oh my God, am I doing like, and then I'm like, am I lonely because I haven't spoken to anyone apart from Gary and my lovely athletes for 2 weeks? Do you know what though, Gary? I'm not. I'm quite content, really.
I'm puzzled by this. Obviously, we know the negative effects of smoking, but so how does the loneliness take away from your health?
I had a look at it. I can't find where I've put it now, but you know, it's the mental and psychological. And I'm not truly lonely because obviously I don't have a chance to have time to be lonely. But when I heard that, I thought, oh gosh, imagine if because I know there's an end to this period where Bryn will walk back through the door. Kind of we just count the days, do the best we can every day. There's been things that have slacked off. Things I do, Gary, I use the tumble dryer a lot because the washing and the hanging it out and then folding it back up. I'm just going to treat myself. I'm just going to shove it in the tumble dryer and then it's out. And then I fold it all up and then I just leave my clothes on the kitchen table when he's away and I just dress in the same things. I don't even if anyone, I just leave it like a little cupboard and the kids eat the dinner around my pants and my sports bras and stuff just move that. There's certain things I do, but I know he's coming back. So, we start the countdown that he's coming back. So imagine I do feel for people that gosh, some people, there's nobody coming back and they are all by themselves. And so I can see how super tough. So I'm complaining, but really I've got nothing to complain about. But I've missed him. And then the bank holiday weekend and everyone's like, hope you have some lovely bank holiday plans. And I was like, I'll be playing some Uno and driving kids to matches, watching the matches, drinking my tea, driving back, making sandwiches, all the same old stuff. Yeah. So I'm be happy he's back. But I've held it together, Gary. I've held it together. And I missed one run last week, which I felt was a win because I did manage all my other sessions, my 2 strength sessions, and then it got to Saturday night. It was either got to be a session or a heat suit session. Got back at about 6:30 from a really busy day. And I started to cook the kids' tea and I just didn't. I just thought, if I go and do that now, they're just going to... There was a slight neglect if I went and did it now because they were all hungry and they wanted the tea. And then I hadn't had enough to eat. It was just, I thought, let's just leave it. So I left it there. So I did manage. I did 3 by 10 minutes at 10%. Felt good. It's a grind, isn't it? It's the first 3 or 4 minutes don't feel that hard. And so I'm always tempted, because I like to be working really hard every session, to put it too fast. But then by the end, you'll have gone into some sort of horrible tempo. Yeah. So you have to hold and be hold. But I like that continuous, for 200-mile training, that continuous, especially the last 10 minutes, you feel really tired. Yeah. You're pushing. It's a good strength session as well.
It ticks all the boxes too. You've got obviously the physiological benefits, but then that mental strength, because 10 minutes, especially for me, 10 minutes, I'm not too sure what kind of recovery you had. 10 minutes. It's a long time for graft.
Then my treadmill syncs to Strava straight away, which I love, because then I can look at my deets, and it also even gives me the gap. Didn't save, Gary, so I've no idea. I can't remember. And I didn't write it on my little whiteboard because I think I was in a bit of a rush, so I don't even know. I can't remember what pace I ran at. Did it happen? Yeah, it was there. It's in the bank. I know it was there. Did 21 miles, got up super early, did 5 miles with the dogs. Poor Darky, she was like, we're just on the road, 2.5 miles out and back. Let's go. No time for stops, no time for sniffs. We're going to get 5 miles in for the school run. Darky was not coming back up the hill. I was like, come on, Darky, I don't like it. I like jogging, Mum. So then came back, got the kids ready, took them to school, came back, and then was like, got to get out the door at 9 o'clock. No faffing. Do not open up any social media apps. I was like, you can have a cup of tea, and then you've got to get out the door. I had plotted a new route that I hadn't really tried, but I sort of was linking a little circle together. Full pack, quite heavy, Gary, I find, whenever I put my full 200-mile pack on with waterproofs, 2 different layering, gloves, hat, 2 head torches, battery pack, first aid, bit of money, and then snacks as well. But I didn't have the full snacks, poles as well, bottles. I did flow gels again. Double nipples. I know lots of people.
I did the floor gels on Saturday.
Double nipples.
Did it again. I pulled in my breasts again. Incredible setup. The 2 little soft flasks.
Yeah. Down through it. So I was like, right, get out the door. And then as I left, I should have had something to eat again then, because I'd finished my run at 6:30 in the morning, the 5 miles, then done the kids, and then left at 9, and I'd had 2 pieces of toast. It wasn't enough. Ooh. So I thought, is this flow gel? I had 2 lots of 120 grams plus a caffeine gel, because I thought after our caffeine chat, let's take that and see. Did this route all uphill. So 1,800 feet in 7 miles. It would felt quite hard to start out the gates. Up. It felt like a lot of running uphill, but then most of it is downhill at the end as well. absolutely destroyed that flow gel. I love that. It's my new secret weapon, Gary. So it took me about 2.5 hours, the run, both flow gels plus a caffeine gel. So then I got to about 2 hours in. I had about 3 or 4 miles left, kicks up another little hill before I get home. My chaffing was so bad, Gary. So I thought, I'm just going to take everything off. And in the woods, I'm going to lube myself heavily. And if anyone walks past, they might be shocked, but I'm also going to ask them to get to the bits I can't actually reach.
I wonder if they've got any nature cams, where you have these wildlife
Hopefully
photographers.
so. And hopefully they saw everything and it's going straight on the go.
Day cam 10, Eddie lubing up.
Please, can someone help me with this lube? It didn't even really help because by the time I got home anyway. So I had the caffeine gel there, knowing that there was like this 3 or 4 miles left. Incredible, Gary. Like you said, I just enjoy the slight buzz it gives me of put on a bit of techno. I was flying. 21 miles, shorts and t-shirt, nice pat. I could have stayed out all day, but things to do.
Sensational.
Work to be done. Felt incredible till I got back and then took my stuff off, sweaty pile in the kitchen, and realised the chaffing was so bad, Gary. I had to have a whole pot of tea before I could even get in the shower because I knew the screaming in the shower was going to. I knew I had to have a shower and it would feel better the minute I had a shower. Yeah. Anyway,
I think the heat training is exaggerating.
It's not good
this.
for the skin. Yeah, it's not good for the skin.
I'm into the itchy phase at the moment.
I talked to Trish about that, like itchy heat rash. I think Core need to come out with, when you buy your sensor, you get a free pot of some sort of like
antihistamine
cream. Anyway, that was done. And but then the parenting, when I got the kids from school, was slow. I drove to school in a questionable outfit because of the chaffing. I didn't have a bra, Gary. I thought, I really hope nothing happens, that I break down and then I have to get out the car and they go, what the hell's happened to this woman? And then we got them back, and we often have a pizza once a week when I really cannot face. We do pizza evening and they're allowed to have a pizza on a chopping board and they can watch whatever they want. I don't care. Just don't want to talk. And normally I do like carrots and cucumbers and tomatoes to make myself feel a bit better. I didn't do any of that, Carrie. They got a pizza out the box, chopped it up, shut up.
I'm not going to judge you. No judging for me, Eddie.
No judging.
Do you not have an emergency? Anyway, we've got emergency frozen veg in the freezer. Microwave.
Oh, yeah, that's heavily used as well. But I honestly wasn't doing it now. I was literally like, I'm just going to, because every movement was hurting my back, even getting the pizza out the oven. I was like, oh, jabbing. My poor children. Anyway, so Saturday was a bit of a wipeout. I got one little run in and that was it. And then Sunday, potential to be wiped out again. I had a lot of work to do, plus the kids had a lot of sport. So I did a little run with the dogs in the morning, and then it got to the afternoon and I was, kids, it was about 4 o'clock. They get a bit fractious. And we were just having my kids are not good with a quiet afternoon at home. Even though it was a beautiful day, they sometimes find it quite hard when they do stop to go, right, what are we going to do now? Yeah. Anyway, they got the Skeletrix out, which has been neglected for a few years. Oh, incredible. But it like incredible for about half an hour, and then cars start getting thrown, things get broken. So as it got out, I thought, I know I've got about half an hour of this. I'm going to go on the treadmill, and I thought, still got a session to do, and I've got a heat session to do. Otherwise, I'm going to go down below 90%. So what am I going to do? I've got these two things. I'm going to put my hands together, and I'm going to do them both. Oh my God, Gary. So I did shorter session, 3x3-2-1 at 12% in my heat suit, 167 heart rate. I thought my heart was going to explode. For the rest, I had to step off the treadmill, and I was struggling to step off the treadmill because I was so wobbly, because I was so hot. This is not good. So I did 2 lots quite hard. And then the third one, I was like, I am the only adult here, so I don't think I can quite. I also was getting slower and slower as I was getting hotter and hotter as well. But it felt good. It felt like I just needed a bit of a like energy release. So I did take the third one down a bit, and then the knocks on the garage started. Oh, so hungry! I'm so hungry. I was like, come in, I'm going to start cooking. And I was shaking so much, I thought, I'm going to have to actually, while I'm cooking the meal I'm going to eat in about 20 minutes, I'm going to have a recovery shake at the same time, because I don't think I'm going to make it. They're going to find me on the floor. Anyway, we got it done, and I did feel pretty good after I'd had a shower and done that, and thought I could have easily not have done that. And it's another tick. I think I got 4% from that as well, so it kept me up in the heat game. I managed to fill it all in. I always think when I look back on the week, have I actually gone a notch up in the fitness? How do you know? Race day.
That's how you know.
Race day. But these sort of notches that I do when I don't want to do it, getting up early, that 21-mile run, fitting it all in for anything. But I do think as well for these really long events when there's nothing out there but you in the trail, it does mentally make you like super strong of like.
I lean on that so much. I'm like, I have not done this treadmill, not done all these heat sessions for nothing. Dig in, Gary.
Dig in. Let's stop being weak. So I could easily have been a write-off a week and nobody would have judged me or said like, you got a lot on, Eddie. There's a lot going on. But I was absolutely laser focused that the running would still get done, even if it meant 5 a.m. wake up. So I should take that from it, that it's fine. It's all good. And I'm still here and I'm feeling good.
I'm impressed.
And,
I never have to do that single parent, and I'm really lucky that Lisa doesn't work away. Woof, I can't imagine.
Oof,
the
next
Lord.
time you come in to stay, and we can heat suit together.
Oh yeah,
The dream.
Can you imagine though, say 40 years time when you're old and wrinkly on your little veranda drinking your cuppa, and the conversations your kids are having about you? Oh, do you remember when Mum was doing this?
Well, we know we're a very small part of the population and what they're. But to our kids, this is just normal. This is just normal. What they're just like, oh, you're doing heat suit, Mum. You're doing heat suit. Yeah, off we go. I cannot wait till their PE GCSE lesson when the teacher goes.
They'll know more than the teacher.
And they'll go, excuse me, I think you're fine.
My mother's a heat champion, don't you know?
Hey!
Thanks, Precision Fuel and Hydration, for supporting Brew the coaches. Their website and newsletter are such good source of knowledge, articles to read, and YouTube content to binge on. On YouTube, you can learn how to fuel an ultra marathon, what pro runners carry on race day, and how to nail your marathon prep. I wonder if they've got any precision athletes doing the Cocodona 250. The media now.
You know what I thought, though? I was watching some of the live feed of it, and I thought, I can't imagine anything worse than on a 200-mile race having a live feed on you when you are in the...
It'd be okay at mile 40. But mile 200.
I'm probably the first 100, and then you'd be like, you don't want to see this. What's happening? I can't give you anything, and you're actually in my way.
I'm always impressed though how fast these people are running.
God,
even though they got 250. Yeah,
she looks like she's just jogging though. She looks like she's just jogging. She's absolutely destroying them. Oh my God. Love it.
She's a warrior. Well, we mentioned earlier, I did use my flow gel at the weekend. I copied your setup. The Harrier vest I've got had the stretchy pockets for the bottles, and then it's got stretchy pockets on the front too, which I normally stick my phone or other bits and bobs in. And yeah, I popped the 2 little tiny flow gel soft flasks in there. And the reason why I like it so much, it's a bit easier to get down than a gel. And sometimes on a trail, you need to have a little bit of mental space for what's going on under your feet. So if I'm faffing around with, as much as I love eating Kendall Mint cake, undoing wrappers and faffing around like that, then I'm probably going to end up flat on my face. But with the flow gel, yeah, it's just super easy just to take it out, have a slurp, and then off you go. And what is really good with those, you don't have to have these, but on the Precision soft flask, they've got the little incremental markers. So you know roughly, that was always my worry with the 90-gram packets, that because they didn't have that gauge on it.
Yeah, but you can just mark it on the 90-gram. You go to the bottom of the table, top of the table, code bar, done. Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It's good. And I did look at the gram markings on the bottle just to check how much I was getting in, also to hold myself back a bit, because I find it like it's like apple juice. I'm just like,
yeah. You do have to be careful how much you're slurping.
I could do a bottle, no props.
And I nearly choked talking about like the difference between sports nutrition. I do lean on just normal stuff I buy from the shops. Do not use fruit pastels as your sport nutrition. When I was going up Scarfield Pike, because I was so mindful of having my hands free, I just jammed 8 in my mouth.
8's a lot. That's like that much of fruit pastels.
It's a lot of fruit pastels. Try to swallow it.
It's not fruit pastels' fault. It's your quantity that you're putting in your mouth. Most people just pop one in.
Well, I started to gag. I thought Robbo was thinking, oh no, here we go again. Lakeland 100 all over again. If you would like to try Precision Fuel and Hydration, then use the code TTIME2025 for 15% off your first order. And if you are Patreon, then you get a whopping 20% off. Head over to Patreon for all the deets. We're going to talk a bit about injury prevention today, but if you've got a question for our coaches, then pop over to tntrails.com, fill in the Google form via the Brew the Coaches button on the homepage. How long have you been a coach, Eddie?
Well, I've been involved in the sports arena since I was in my 20s, but I've been an official coach. I guess I first started putting out plans 15 years ago, I guess.
What has been your biggest cause of injury when you get athletes coming to you? And then also, injury prevention.
Actually, nowadays, we're so good and we know so much about training principles, about strength training. Nearly always now, injury comes from something that's happened on the trail. But the whole population as well, one of the biggest reasons for injury is probably doing too much too soon. I guess everybody knows that. Too much too soon. And even too much too soon, like for you, Gary, after the week after the marathon.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Too much too soon after the marathon. Too much too soon. You might be fine, you might be built. Down the road, though, looking at it, and that's why coach is like so good. The helicopter view is like down the road, you might feel fine. You might need that, the hormones and everything really low. You think, I need the running. So I used to be really strict to be like, no, totally, 2 weeks off, no running. And now actually I'm more of like, okay, mentally, lots of people need running in their lives and understand that. So I'm like, just little bite size, get moving again.
I like the whisper though. Would you rather lose 3 days instead of 3 months?
It's a brave thing to be able to do though, isn't it? Because
I
just talked
I just talked
for 20 minutes about I missed one session of the week and it kind of like knocked the whole week, and I was like, oh, did I actually do a good week because I missed one session? So I get how hard it is, but it's much harder than if you have to take a lot of time off. Also, one of my big things as well is that if you do get injured, if you've been doing some of these things in your library already, in your toolbox, it's much easier to come back from injury as well. If you've got a robust body, if you're used to going to the gym, if you really understand the way your body works, if you do get a little niggle or you have a calf tear or anything, going to the gym is not alien to you. Doing different mobility exercises isn't alien to you. And I just think as well as if you do mobility, if you do strength, you really get to understand what your weaknesses are as well. You can feel it. It's boring. And everybody says it, but it's the truth is that you should have some strength training in your program. And it doesn't need to be complicated. When I get initial calls often with clients and I go right back from beginning, I say, tell me what you did at school. And if they say, well, I didn't do anything until after uni, their body is going to be completely different from somebody who did a lot of sport when they were younger. So we're all different as well. So you can't just as well. So I don't need to do a lot of strength training. And also I bulk up real quick. If I do a lot of strength training, my body's just like, I know what to do. Twice a week, it does need to be twice a week. Once a week is fine. If you perhaps then you add in a little bit of home stuff as well, because getting to the gym twice a week is tricky.
I think that's it. If there's too much friction, then it's stopping you from doing it. Then it's very trendy at the moment to lift heavy. But if you can't do that for whatever reason, and you just do something at home with some dumbbells, follow a YouTube video, something is better than nothing. And also, I've got no qualifications, but for me personally, anecdotally, when I find if I do more than 2 strength sessions a week, that impacts on my running, and that's what we want to be, is runners. So I wouldn't really be doing kind of 4, 5, 6 sessions because you just won't be able to show up for your sessions.
I'd love to be a high-risk athlete, just because I want to wear those crop tops and shorts and
they all look incredible too.
No one has ever as well, and I think this is a great analogy. When you're running and you're deep into an ultra, deep into a race, you never go, I wish I hadn't done all those squats. What a waste of time that was. God, getting all that strength in my leg. Within that, there's balance and proprioception as well. And plyometrics is a big word. Bet you don't do your plyometrics now, but
never.
Especially all my female athletes, I've got them doing plyometrics, jumping around. Really good way to fit in strength work if you don't have access to the gym. And if you're like, I get home, I've got 5 minutes. A really great way as well to add a little bit of strength, muscular force into your training. Footwear selection. There used to be a lot more when probably Gary, you and I were like in early, 10, 15, 20 years ago, used to be a lot more you choose your trainer to fit like whether you were, how your foot landed on the floor and whether you needed, more support or less support. That's sort of gone out of fashion a little bit now. Well, now what I advise is it comfortable? Do you put your foot in it and do you feel comfortable? And everybody is different. So there's no right or wrong of what you should wear. If you are going to want to do like the more minimalist, make sure you build into it and you strengthen the calves and Achilles as well. And how often should you change your trainers? That's asked quite a lot. And I kind of think basically you kind of know as a runner when you feel that trainer. Mine is when the stones start coming through. You can feel the really sharp stones through the sole. And I'm like, that needs to become a dog walking shoe then. Or just like an easy run, 3 or 4 miles shoe. And I kind of put it on rotation as well. But I don't often finish a shoe because it's worn out. I don't think ever, apart from like the grip, I guess, goes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But not the cushioning so much. I find shoes nowadays, they pretty much last.
But also, whatever works for you. You know, we both sit here saying that comfort trumps everything. Lisa, my wife, she has orthotics in her shoes. It's not something I buy into. I actually kind of try to talk her out of it. I thought the injury would present itself somewhere else because of what's happening with her feet. If the orthotics changed how she was striking the ground, she runs with that. Personally, I just go with comfort. And I did find, I'm not going to go into the whole research. I found some research. I heard this on a podcast years ago, and I thought that I just made it up, but I Googled again because I knew we were going to talk about it. And there's a study in America where they got together thousands and thousands of Marines going through their basic training, men and women. Yeah, men and women. And they prescribed them basically if they needed a motion control, stability, or cushioned shoe, depending on their plantar shape. And the conclusion, selecting running shoes based on arch height had little influence on injury risk in the military basic training. Yeah, it's fascinating, but like all these things, if you've got something and it's working for you, then yeah, don't change it.
If those orthotics are working for you, don't take them out, because Gary says. I think one of the biggest things, perhaps the last one we talk about today, because we could gamble on about this for hours, is recovery. There's so much on the market about you should be taking your magnesium. You should be taking bicarb before you go and do anything hard. You should be taking this, rubbing this cream on your nether regions, whatever it is. We're always being trying to sold stuff. Gary buys it all on Fastest, how to do more training, how to recover quicker. But actually, the biggest way to recover and to maybe prevent injuries as well is sleeping, nutrition, hydration. And I tell you, a big one as well is stress. Stress is stress. And I have this conversation again a lot with my athletes, is that like other areas of your life play so hugely into your ability to train and recover. Did I really get any fitter that week? Because I did not have any time to recover. I went from bang, 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 thing to thing. Is that sustainable? Absolutely not. And so I think we have to really take that on board as well, that whatever else is going on in our life, work is really stressful. His family life is really stressful. That needs to be reflected in your training program. You still do the hard. Don't think, I cannot do any hard sessions. You still do long runs, you still do hard sessions, but you might need longer time between it. You might really need to work on your nutrition. And then the biggest thing of everything that you can do, and all of this, strength, blah, 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 it's all useless if you don't get enough sleep.
That's where the magic happens. And please, sleep is much more part of the dialogue these days. When I started running, it was all about just crushing the workouts, more.
Sleep was not talked about in any way.
No, not really. It's glad it's on the table now.
And if you can't get enough sleep, I'm a great believer in if you can somehow have a little nap during the day, or if at the weekend you can have a little time on the sofa and catch up, or just go to bed Friday night, party, I go to bed half an hour. Banking sleep, you can bank sleep. So
I think I've napped probably 3 times in a year. But
you see, I'm the
incredible.
queen. I'm the queen of a 10-minute. You need to work on that for Northern Traverse. On the bench, head on the bench.
I think it'll take care of itself when I'm exhausted. But yeah, if you can sleep more, I would do that. Like I say, that's when the magic happens. You smashing yourself up, you're breaking your muscles down, doing the workout. You need to recover. To
sum up our little chat on injury prevention, I think we both agree strength training, both of us strength train.
Yeah.
I think that is like a key part to your routine to stop you getting injured. And if you do get niggles, to help you come back from injury and to come back from races as well. Recovery after races, recovery between sessions, really important. Listening to your body. If you do feel a niggle, taking a little bit of time to rest, cross-train, don't hammer through it. Let it, if it's a whisper, let it stay that way. Don't let it become a full-blown conversation. And not being scared to be flexible with your training program. I think that's probably the last thing I would say. If you're tired, you go out and you start a session and you think, today's not the day, I'm not going to do it. That'll do. Know yourself and don't be scared. Own your plan and go, that's enough for today. Be flat, I'm tired. I'm going to need some more rest.
I think I benefit from shoe rotation. lots of different types of drop. I'm lucky I go with a zero drop. I can have quite a stacked shoe too. I think that helps me massively. My feet are just not striking the ground the same every step. And also talking about striking the ground the same, also mixing up the terrain I think is good, because if you're pounding the tarmac, as much as I love just open up the legs.
That marathon, wow. That's cute.
But the trails are incredible just for that softer surface when you're striking the ground.
The shoe rotation is great. And there is studies as well. You batter the foam in your trainers and it takes 24 hours for it to come back up. That's why we all need at least 10 pairs of trainers in our locker. Also, we can be all standing on a high box, can't we, Gary, and going, this is what you need to do. Everybody deals with an injury at some point. It's part of being a runner, isn't it? Part of the journey, as much as, I say, prevention and strength training. It's part of life with all these things, the highs and the lows, that you will, at some point, you're only, as I said, you're only a corner away from when we push. When we want to get fitter, we want to get stronger. You will, sadly, injury is just part of it. And so don't beat yourself up as well. If you have, got a bit of a sore hammy or your Achilles or your calves, we've all got a little niggle or a little weakness that we need to work on. And it's not a weakness, as it's, if you do get injured, sometimes it's nothing that you've done wrong. You
can sleep loads, you can do all the strength, and you can just be really, really unlucky and just get injured.
Yeah. It's not forever. That's what we always have to remember, though. Sometimes it feels like that when you can't run as well.
Thanks, Phoenix Light, for sponsoring this week's interview. The best design comes from the actual needs of users. Phoenix takes providing mobile lighting products with excellent performance as the goal and born for harsh environments as its mission. Never forget why you started, and your mission can be accomplished. Don't forget, patrons can enjoy 10% off over at www.phoenixlight.co.uk. This week's guest is Sean Merryweather. Sean is a Phoenix supported athlete. He was so fast, though, he didn't need to lean on his headlamp that much during his record-breaking Cheshire 100 Ultra victory.
Oh, there's the other one.
There's the other one. Sorry,
Excellent. No, don't worry about it. Honestly, it's fine. Okay, Sean Merryweather is a British ultra runner and obstacle course racer. He has won multiple endurance events, including the GB Ultra Chester 50, Manchester to Liverpool Ultra, and GB Ultra Snowdon 50. Recently, he set a new course record at the Chester Ultra 100, finishing in a smoking fast 16 hours, 20 minutes and 5 seconds. Curious though, do you still do the OCR stuff?
I do dabble in a little bit of the OCR stuff just because it's where my fitness journey began. About 10 years ago, I was a really big gym head, so lifted weights, and then formed a group in the gym, and we raised, as you do, a charity organisation for Tough Mudder. Done my first Tough Mudder and enjoyed it. Probably one of the best things about it. And then I was quite big at the time, 17 stone.
Muscle.
A bit of both, actually.
70. How tall are you, Sean?
6 foot exactly.
That's like the weight of like a sort of now. My kids are heavily in their rugby period at the moment. So they met the South African rugby team the other day. You are up there with their, like, what they call their bomb squad, the big guys.
Yeah, I should probably cauliflower ears and be in a scrum.
Yeah, you should have. Still time.
I love it.
No, I think I found my passion for running.
Yeah.
I remember being in school playing in rugby. I think it was only college, but first game, went into a scrum, broke my ankle, and I was like, this isn't for me. So that's about as far as that got.
Okay.
So yeah, just Tough Mudder in general, and then still do a bit now because I enjoyed it that much. I got a Tough Mudder tattoo, and then I found out that if you got a certain size tattoo, that you can get events for life for free.
Wow. Okay.
So you needed a 10 by 10 tattoo. So I was like, I emailed them and I was like, if I had a leg piece, would this qualify me to get entries into the world's toughest mudder in America and Europe's toughest mudder? And they were like, on this occasion, yes. So I got a few tattoos anyway, and it means quite a lot to me because of just the way the fitness journey began and how it started for me. So then done Tough Mudder, took it quite serious when they done competitive events.
Can you tell me what what does it involve? Is it?
So it's very similar to a Spartan.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
They are now owned as the joint company. They still operate separately, but yeah, Tough Mudder, Spartans, they're sort of all that sort of thing, really.
So what sort of distance are you covering? Is it obstacles and then running in between the obstacles?
Yeah, so the Europe's toughest that I won, which was a 12-hour over, so it starts at 8 o'clock at night and it goes across to 8 o'clock in the morning. So you're in and out of water, monkey bars, burpees, all this stuff. You wear a swim run wetsuit if you choose to, because obviously it gets pretty cold.
For 12 hours?
12 hours constantly, which it sounds a lot because they were 5-mile laps.
Okay.
The crew comes round pretty quick. So that's where the whole endurance series for me started. I just liked the whole going longer, going further aspect.
So you got crew with you then, have you?
Yeah,
Did you say?
Yeah, you have crew. You have a 3x3 meter pit tent that you can have your crew in, and you can have as many crew there as you want. But to be honest, as long as you've got someone there that can do your pot noodle or snacks or chicken noodle soup or whatever, that's all you need really, because you don't really see them.
And do you fuel at all during the lap, or do you just come back, eat?
I'll take a gel out with me in a pocket as an emergency, but that would be it really. But I'll be in the tent to grab what I need out again.
Oh my god, let's just do the podcast about this.
I'm curious, is there any prize money? Because you have kind of moved to trail running, and that is notoriously for being pretty poor.
There used to be a very good OCR runner that you'll know very well, in a person called John Alban, heavily involved with Tough Mudders. He's done World's Toughest Mudders. When prize money was there, it has now just come back. Prize money last year was £10,000 for first place, £5,000 for second, and I think £2,500 for
Sign us up, Gary. Hey. What are we doing?
Yeah, but that's only recently where it's come back, and probably why that I'm going to dip my toe back into it again.
Right.
So the last week of June, there's World's Toughest Mudder, and it's the first time. It's normally in America, but it's come to the UK for the first time ever in its history this year, so it would be rude not to go.
And were you always good at the running bit in between the obstacles? Did you always think?
No, I think the obstacle course worked for me because I used to be a big gym head. Hanging on monkey bars and lifting the heavy things up wasn't an issue for me, and because the running in between was broken up by obstacles, it seemed to work. But then the whole industry of Tough Mudder and Spartan, a bit like everyone else, money was tight. They started making obstacles really cheap, same old every year, just lacked a bit of interest. And it was only because then I was getting them for free that I still started turning up, and you build a community of friends within that space. And it's what then people that I found brought you back to the events again and again and again.
Got to ask about the tattoo though. Is it could be a Spinal Tap moment? Is it centimetres or inches, the 10 by 10?
I don't know. It's big enough to cover my ankle up to my knee and all the way around. So
whoa, that's quite big. That's heavy.
Do you think Shane at Area Events would do this? If someone
Big dragon. Big dragon on my arm.
Big dragon, free. Yeah, big dragon, couple of mountains, the lighthouse.
I could get some bees on one shoulder, Robin Hood's Bay on the other, and a big squiggly line.
Free entry for life.
Stay classy. Okay, outside of running, he has a background in football and holds a black belt in kickboxing. His favourite races tend to be in the mountains, and he lives in Cheshire. My geography is sketchy, but that sounds like a perfect place to live. You've got the lakes, the dales, and then you can go into Wales too. What a lovely predicament you're in at the weekend. Which way are you going to go for an adventure? That sounds incredible.
It does. And unfortunately, Wales seems to always win. I don't know whether that was because being in Wrexham before Cheshire, and it was a bit closer to Snowdon, so I'd always go Snowdon. Being in Cheshire now, again, nothing wrong with the lakes, absolutely beautiful. I'd just not choose to go there just because it's a bit further. Snowdon's so much to explore over there. So it just seems to be a stomping ground for me that I just seem to have a love for. Yeah, being in the middle of Peak District, Lake District and Snowdonia, it's just a great place to be.
How is recovery going? Did you manage to explore South African trails?
I am quite lucky in that my body recovers quite quick. I don't know what that is. I had 2 days rest from Chester 100. Decided to try and get out on the bike, even though my partner, who is Jess, and she's Ironman, she's like, my coach tells me for every Ironman or every hour you do for an Ironman, you have a day's rest or whatever. So she was like, you need 2.5 weeks rest. I was like, that's not going to be the case. I'll have a day's rest for every 50 mile. How does that sound? And try and meet you halfway. So she wasn't best pleased, but I can't just sit around and do nothing. I have to either walk dogs, get out on the bike. Active recovery for me is perfect. But yeah, 2 days after that, I got out on the bike, managed a little shakeout run before the flight to South Africa. Got to South Africa, and yeah, the place is just amazing. Table Mountain behind the hotel, managed to hike up it, got a couple of runs in. Got the cable car down for the experience. Some people might say that's lazy in the trail running world.
Cable car down, I think, is a very sensible thing. Save the legs.
So it was good. It was the ability to be able to go out and do a 10K with less than 30 meters of elevation on the seafront. And then, we're doing a 10K the other side of the hotel and having 1,000 meters of elevation is just brilliant.
So you said your body felt okay, but how is, like, we always talk about HRV on the podcasts. That's kind of like an underlining marker, how you actually doing.
HRV is not, I probably should look at it a bit more. And my watch normally is in the red.
Oh
no.
Well, it does. It's a weird one.
It's probably wrong then, Sean. I find if metrics don't tell you what you want to know, they're probably.
I know wrong. That's it. All the technology. I feel if I feel fine, then
you feel fine. Yeah. You're not ill, you're not injured.
Yeah.
I think of all the metrics, there's some sketchy stuff on watches, but HRV seems to spookily mirror how good or bad I am feeling. So maybe when you're 10 years older, maybe take a little
but
look
Sean's
at that.
much tougher than you. He's much bigger and much tougher than you.
Oh, great.
Probably he doesn't even feel his HRV. He's like, whatever. So tell us, Sean, what does a typical day look like for you when you're not on your hollybobs in South Africa?
Day by day, I work in agriculture, so I'm a nutritionalist for farmers in terms of feeding cows up and down the country.
Amazing. I'm going to need to know more details of that. So you go in, do you take some blood work like we get from the cows?
I don't do blood work because that's to do with the vets. I do samples of grass silage, actually, and then build a diet based on that for the farmer's request.
You're doing their carbs. You're like, how much carbs?
I'm doing the rations. I'm putting everything together, which proteins, carbs, fibers. So I'm basically a nutritionalist for cows.
You go and do it, and then do you come back and go, doing well, Daisy? Looking good?
I love the term Daisy because everyone calls a cow Daisy. But you'd go back and visit the farmer. He'd be on the phone if anything's wrong. But you'd also have a walk around the cows. If they're fat, they're thin.
I didn't realise that there was that much science behind it. Of course there is.
It's the same as a human. They need to eat. They need to perform. Everyone like us ourselves here needs to eat.
I did not realise there was much detail gone into that job.
I thought you just chucked a bale over into the cows. And what about when you're not with Daisy? What does training look like? Typical training week for you?
Because I don't need to get up stupidly early in the morning now because I've not got to haul myself into the office. I can get my 8 hours sleep at night. I can get up at 7 o'clock in the morning because we've not got kids. So training would involve maybe a run at lunchtime or an evening run on a Monday. Tuesday, I'd fit in sort of session on a Tuesday, whether that be in a track session or a session around an industrial estate with some mates.
Every time I drive, like if I'm going to like a kids football match or something, and they always seem to be like through industrial estates, I'm like, oh, you do great 800s along this bit. A bit flat, no cars.
5 o'clock, it goes dead. It's pan flat. No lorries are parked up for the night. It's great. So there's a bunch of us that meet up in D-side, similar sort of abilities. So that's good. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday would just be sort of easy running, bit of tempo work in there. And then the weekend would either be a race, or if I'm not racing, then another session on Saturday with a Sunday long run.
Are you quite a high volume athlete?
80 mile a week, roughly.
80 mile a week. Okay. And do you still incorporate gym work into that routine?
Not as much as I should until I get injured. A bit like everyone.
Classic.
Difficult. But I do try and do one if not 2 strength sessions a week.
So we started the conversation with you, your obstacle racing prowess. When did you then switch into actually, I'm going to trail run?
I don't know how much you know, but my life I played football from 3 years old, and then I played it up until 2018. Unfortunately, got forced away from football. So I can talk about it now, but it was a horrible time of my life. Back in 2018, I was playing football, decent semi-standard, and unfortunately, went for a tackle one evening on a Thursday night, broke a player's leg, which was total accident. Went on holiday. The game was abandoned. Went on holiday the next day, came back. All was absolutely fine. And then before I know it, I had a visit from the police to say that this person has basically said that this was an attack. It was malicious. So 18 months from the event to actually go into Crown Court for a trial, I kind of took to running to clear my head. It was the only thing that I could do. I didn't want to play football again, just in case it happened again, and they'd use it against me. Yeah. So that was a big turning point for me, because football was everything that I knew at the time, and to have to manually actually take myself away from the situation for the good of myself.
Yeah.
But thankfully, I don't miss it. I don't miss it now, because it could happen again. And I think just the way that contact sport is these days, you tell everyone what happened, and everyone's like, how the hell has it gone to, how has it gone so far? How have Crown Court looked at it and said that, there's actually there's a case here. So I had to get solicitor, barrister, everything involved. They even went to the CPS twice and said, look, are you sure this is actually in the best interest of everyone? And they said, yeah. So we went to 5-day trial in Crown Court. Yeah, so it was just a time of my life where, if it wasn't for running, I can probably say mental health issues for me at that time were pretty low. So if it wasn't for running, I can probably hold my hands up and say that I probably wouldn't be around, which is not very nice to say.
Oh my goodness.
But got through it, and it's probably happened for the best for me, I think.
I can't believe it though. There's at least plus 20 people there would have witnessed that situation. Plus people on the sideline too. Then to go to Crown Court, my goodness me, that must have been so traumatic. I just can't get my head around the level of stress that you'd been.
Yeah, so it's gone. It's behind me, and I think that's where the running officially started. So probably took running seriously once all that was over. So started in the end of 2019, and thankfully it's just gone on and to progress from there, really. And
do you not miss the teams? Because obviously running is quite a solitary thing. I know you have a community and friends for training, but come match day, do you miss that side?
Yeah, I do miss the team aspect. Probably more so going to the pub after the game and having a few pints, and as you do. Again, I look at it now, and I'm 34 next week, and so I finished playing when I was 29, so still young enough to play. But I was picking up little injuries, or I have glass ankles that I used to roll 2 or 3 times a year. So it didn't bother me having a couple of weeks off playing football then. But now, if I have to have a week off running, it would send me west.
When did you started running, and then when did you realize you could run a long way? Well, quite a lot of people are like, oh, I did 5k, 10k, or did you just? I know the answer to this. I can see what kind of guy you are. What was the sort of running journey like?
I started running, and my first long distance race, I'd done halves, and then I went into Manchester Marathon, which was my first ever marathon, which probably will be my last ever marathon, because it's just concrete pain for 26 miles. But yeah, I went into Manchester Marathon at a time where I started running, and I set myself a goal. I wanted a good for age. Not for a good for age, sorry. I wanted an elite place for London, which at the time was 2:45, which is probably stupid now, like 2:32 or something like that.
Probably, yeah.
So managed to dip under that at 2:42. So I was very, very happy. I think just the fitness from football in general has sort of got me halfway to where I needed to be. So I'd done that, and then I was like, yes, I'll give London a stab. And then COVID came, and then London didn't happen. And then you can defer your place. And I was like, great, I'll do it the year after. And then the year after happened, but I didn't want to do it because they turned it to laps, so 11 laps, if I remember correctly.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So I was like, I wanted to do London for the experience. So I was like, didn't do it in the end because I didn't want to do 11 laps with no one around. So then I thought, what's next? And then rather than do a 50k, I'd done a 50 miler, and my first ultra was Chester 50. Don't know what happened. Everything clicked that day. Came away with the gold medal at Chester 50. 50 milers for me just seems to be a nice marker because you can get it done in daylight hours for some people. I just think starting at 6 o'clock in the morning, finishing in the afternoon or before sunset. Had a couple of shots at 100 milers. Some have gone not to plan. I say some, all bar one.
Oh, go on. Tell us about the ones that haven't gone to plan.
So there's a couple that I've attempted. I think Chester 100 that have just gone. This was my fourth attempt at 100 miler. And the three previous to that were all DNFs.
Okay. Which races were they?
Probably not ones that I should have gone straight in for. One of them being the Arc of Patrician. Other one being a run, walk, crawl race, which is in South Wales, a Pembrokeshire 100 miler, which again didn't go to plan. The other one was a Chester 100, which was completed this year, but the year before.
Did they all have the same theme for the DNF, or was there a different story?
Arc was down to a bit of an injury, so slipped, and basically my back seized up, and I was only 30 mile in at this point, and I just thought with it being my back and a long way to go, it wasn't worth the risk personally. And then the other two was just down to nutrition. Thankfully, now that I've got Precision on board, a lot has changed, and thankfully it's got me over the line this time.
Yeah, you can gain some knowledge with nutrition.
You can get round a 50 miler on gels and liquid carbs. Anything over that, you need to actually know what you're doing.
I love that the Chester 50 miler. There's always somebody on a start line that nobody knows about, but is actually smoking fast, and you were that guy.
I've done Chester 50 twice now. I came first when I did my first ultra, and then I came second last year when I done the Chester 50 again. Again, you just hit the nail on the head, really. So turned up. I never really look at the start line because, on the day it'll be what it will be on the day because, it's a distance, it's a journey, things happen and out of control. I probably ran my best race of my life at Chester 50 last year and finished second. And I was like, right, okay, feeling great. And then I found out the person that actually came first was a chap called Chris Beckman, who is an Ironman pro athlete. So I was like, don't mind finishing second to that. Like you said, there's always going to be someone there that you don't know, and it's just about who turns up on the day. Yeah,
we've been chatting nicely with about 25 minutes here, Sean. So we might as well move on to the Chester 100. Yeah, why this race? And we've had a little kind of a bit of a journey with all the DNFs, but why the Chester 100?
The Chester 100 has a bit of a special place in my heart. Obviously, after last year getting so far, I think it was 77 mile and DNFing there. I had to sort of go back because I've had a monkey on my shoulder for 12 months that I just couldn't shake off. And I thought until I actually get it over the line and get it done, it's not going to get off. And it was 2 years to the day, unfortunately, where I lost my dad through suicide. So again, it was a race that obviously means a lot to me because not for just the race itself, but for him as well. So I just thought if it takes me 32 hours to complete it and I have to walk all the way, I'm getting it done.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it didn't, and it went as probably good as it could have gone, really. Probably went out a bit too quick. Yeah, after getting told off from my crew saying, what are you doing going out at 7-minute miles?
Oh, wow.
7-minute miles, and I went through a marathon at 3 hours 05, and I went through 50k at 3 hours 45. They were like, what pace are you doing? I was like 7:05. They were like, this is too quick. I was like, I know, but it just feels, I said to them, it felt comfy. I know in the long stuff, you should probably reserve and have a stronger finish in the last half. I seem to go the other way. If I feel good, I try and feel good for as long as I can.
You don't get course records if you're too conservative, I think.
Well, that's it. Right. I'm always the one for rolling the dice and dancing with the devil. It either works or it doesn't. And I think Chester is just a race that was actually quite suited for me because I'm actually quite a strong runner on the flats.
What pace were you doing in the last 90 to 100 miles?
Do you really want to know?
Yeah.
So the last 5 mile, you go over like a river Gowie, which it was in the night and it was all tread up by cows. And it was quite hard because the weather had been dry. But it was actually 103 miles of the race. But from about 90 mile to 100, I was still doing sub 9-minute miles.
Amazing.
Yes.
So thankfully, whatever was kept in the tank, it managed to just hold and not burn out.
How was the fueling? Because if that was your weak point, what changes did you make?
Very good. So I went in with the aim this year of going out with a similar pace to last year's event, with the aim of cutting back just a couple of seconds a mile and having a crew that rather than using aid stations and filling up there and getting food, I'll use those to basically hand me my fluids with carb drinks and electrolytes already in. So I can pass them my empty ones, they'll pass me whatever, and then whatever food they've got on them, I'll take it off them and just keep going. Having to slow down just a couple of seconds gave me a couple of minutes over the whole race, which doesn't seem to be a lot.
Yeah.
But it just managed to give me that couple of minutes to actually stomach some hard food as well.
It's a game changer, that,
It's
isn't
a
it?
saver for me, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just take the pressure off just so you can get that food down. I'm just curious, were you running scared? You were out in front from the beginning, but I think it was about 2 hours that split the podium. I'm not too sure if you're checking trackers or you're getting intel from your crew or you're just cruising along. It's like a time trial.
GB Ultras, how they work on the 100 mileage, you can actually have a pacer from 50 miles onwards. So I actually asked a friend of mine who, I don't know if you know, is a chap called Caspian who won Race Across Scotland 215 last year. So a very good, experienced runner, climber, hiker. So having him for the 50 miles for the second half of the journey was what made it, basically, because I think having him not there, I don't know how it would have gone, whether I'd have lost my head, because putting a lot of pressure on myself with some of the trackers not being on where they should be. They're throwing someone up apparently 2 miles ahead of you, and then they're an hour behind you, and then they're about as good as you can sort of get without being precise. Yeah, having him out there saying the right things. If I needed to stop and walk for 30 seconds, he wouldn't be saying, come on, we need to start running again now. He'd just start shuffling behind me.
I do that. I do that.
Run without telling me to run. So he'd be there.
It's important he's behind you, because if he's in front of you, then I think that's quite a psychological drain.
Yeah, so he just, whatever he'd done, it worked. But yeah, he was basically telling me to run without telling me to run. It was brilliant.
Perfect. And I'm always curious with people at the sharp end, the effort they're running at. Can you have a conversation with Caspian, or is it silence?
Oh no, we were talking and laughing all the way. No, it was great. There was times, a couple of dark patches, don't get me wrong, where I needed that Coke and I needed that Lucozade because of the pace. You know, Caspian's a very good mountain runner. We're both doing the UTS 100 together. I think to the point, whereas I don't think he realised the pace that I were going to be doing for the second 50, because he went a bit quiet and he went a bit dark at times as well. So he was a bit in the pain cave, but he managed to, with his experience, come out of it and help me. So it was brilliant.
I'm just looking on your Strava and I'm looking at the route. It's a little bit complicated. Is it a marked route?
I will shout out GB Ultras because they are very good and they're getting bigger and bigger. I think there was 400 people that started this 100-mile race, which, 100 miles, that's quite a lot of people.
Big. Yeah, it's good.
And they've just done Chester 50 literally 2 or 3 weeks back, just before that. And I think there was 800 people that started that. So very well marked course, photographs. I think they have like 7 or 8 photographers out on course everywhere.
They got some Romans in on the finish line.
Yeah, you're turning up to race at 5 o'clock in the morning and they've got these Romans turning up in these suits and, it's like everyone's half asleep and they're there with these swords. And for where I DNF'd last year at 77 mile, that was checkpoint, I think, 7 and checkpoint 11 or 10. So you have to do a loop and you come back on.
Yeah.
But I just knew getting back to that checkpoint for the second time, I just needed to get back out. When you leave checkpoint 10, you start heading back on yourself. I'm going to start seeing people again because you're going to be passing them. Do you know what? It was so humbling because everyone you pass going through, they're like, wow, you're like 25, 30 miles ahead of me.
They must have hated you with it.
That's what I thought, but everyone had nothing but good words to say. It was amazing. So, and that was a bit of encouragement, and that sort of got me to the next checkpoint. And then the next checkpoint was Frodsham, the last sort of hot checkpoint. So I just chucked a bit of pasta down. Again, I didn't have the map on my watch, the route itself, because it's local to me.
Okay.
I know the route off the back of my hand, so I think.
Did you hear Gary's and mine breath of like,
not
we can't even go out.
GPX.
GPX.
So that was the first time, and I think, do you know what? It was good because I wasn't constantly looking.
What sort of trail is it?
First 20 mile, 25 mile is
smoking fast by the look of it.
Yeah.
Concrete
canal, and then you head up towards Beeston Castle where it starts turning very traily. So you head up and out and back, and then you jump onto the Sandstone Trail, and then you follow that all the way into Delamere, Frodsham Hill. You go along a river weaver, and then you get into Runcorn and you do a 20-mile loop again, which is Trans Pennine. So you do a loop around and then back along the River Weaver and then over back onto the Sandstone Trail and then road. So it's probably 50%, 60% tarmac and then 40% trail.
Highs and lows, Sean.
First 100-mile race ticked off.
I like it. I like that done.
I said for 2 days after it was going to be my last. I'd never do it again.
Yeah, we all know that.
Already
we all
knew.
hear that, yeah.
So I've got UTS 100. Already.
Is that the 100K or the 100 miles?
100 mile.
Oh, wow.
So that was
no
already...
vapor flies for that.
And it's got a little bit more than 5,000 feet vert on that race.
Yeah, but again, that's going to be a different kettle of fish because, again, I love Wales. I love the mountains. Going back to the highs on the race.
Yes, sorry.
First belt buckle, which 4 times in coming, so that looks nice. Yeah. That's on the mantelpiece. Again, another thing for me was getting the nutrition right because that was massive. All the DNFs that have come, it's actually taught me a lot.
Of course.
With fueling and just everything that comes with it. So getting that nailed on was good. So getting the nutrition right for a 100-miler sort of now is leaning me towards, can I get a nutrition right for a longer race? We'll see.
Northern Traverse, Sean, that's got your name all over it.
Yeah, and it's funny, because it's a race that I've been looking at for a couple of years now, but until you mentioned that, I literally 2 days ago got a follow on Instagram from Traverse. So,
come on board the
She's
Traverse.
watching. Libby's watching you.
At the window,
Jump into their DMs. Hi, you don't know me, but you should.
That was interesting. Lows, apart from a bit of a mental pain cave at 50 mile in, 55 mile in, I don't really think that I've got anything to sort of chuck at. Yeah.
I wonder, when did you know you were getting your fueling right?
I just felt good at 50 mile and then still fueled right. And then I think for the last sort of 20 mile, when you get to that point, I was literally just living off Coke, Lucozade. But
I think people often think that as a failure of fueling when they go, I just had Coke. I mean, the fact that something's going into your mouth and you're swallowing it, to me is like, I'm like, if you're still putting calories in, brilliant. You're still putting calories in and you're still thinking I want calories in the last 10 mark, which is when exactly, if you don't, you can lose hours. You can stop like you did. I still think that's a really good win.
Did you do the video call with Precision to have a chat with one of their sports scientists?
I haven't actually done that yet. I know that I'm a very salty sweater in general because I finish a race and my black t-shirt will be white. I know that I have to take my carb drink with additional electrolytes in and salt tabs as well. So that's how much of a salty sweater that I am.
Wow, so Snowdonia is going to need quite a lot of planning then if it is.
I know it's been nice and warm the last 2 years, so I'm
looking at the weather, like the long-term forecast, I was looking at that this morning for a couple of races that are coming up, and it does look like in the next 10 days we've got another warmer spell coming. Whether that'll last, I don't know if you know anything about heat training, Sean, but I maybe would jump on that bandwagon.
It's super easy to do the heat training, but it's not so easy to kind of track it with some metrics behind it.
So you've got Snowdonia coming up imminently, 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. Anything else on the calendar this year?
I've got the spine sprint coming up in June, if I could get my legs recovered from UTS. I said to myself this year I wouldn't burn out with races, but I seem to have not listened to myself. So spine sprint, and then 2 weeks later is potentially the world's toughest mudder, if I can get...
Okay.
Yeah, I think with it being a 50 in the spine, I think I'll be recovered in time for that. August, looking to hopefully head out to Switzerland and do the all tracks. Obviously, main sponsor there being Scott, so I'm trying to get a bib and go over there. December, it's November actually. The Chevy got the spine sprint in the winter. Even though I'm doing the spine sprint in the summer, I wanted to do the winter.
You do want to do the same crappy part of the course in all season.
Well, it is, even though it's the same routes, it'll be a completely different experience.
I'm curious, you might know this actually, Sean. Do they still do the tough guy, the original tough guy? I did that, must be, 25 years ago. Is that still going? Like Wolverhampton area, I'm sure it was around that.
Yeah, no, I don't. I think it might have stopped. I know OCR is still big in America, and I think it might be a thing over there, but just the way that races have gone and small races have disappeared. I think Tough Mudder and Spartan, they only just about hung on for dear lives a couple of years ago.
They are really expensive, though. People say, "Oh, trail races are expensive." I know the infrastructure around them is massive. When I lived in the Alps, they had the world. I'm pretty sure they were the world Spartan or the European Spartan. They'd come out to the town, and they were the 10,000 people used to come. But the infrastructure of building the event would be like that. You'd see the lorries roll in like 2 weeks before, and they'd take over all the car parks, and it would take them like 2 weeks to build and get up all the mountains, and then 2 weeks, to take it all down again. So though they're expensive, I can imagine it's quite a setup, but it's really hard. It's the sort of thing as trail runners we look at and we go, I could do that. And then I just tried to do just the monkey bars and couldn't get anywhere.
It's when you get in the bath or you wake up the next day and it got bruises head to toe.
My son's got a boxing bag in the back garden, and if I just punch that for 5 minutes, I am wrecked. I can run-ish for 24 hours, but yeah, punch a boxing bag for 5 minutes. But I'm not going to throw stones at any event organizer. After peeking behind the curtain, there's a lot goes on to put these events on. Should we do the quick five? Okay, you've got some ink, Sean. How old were you when you got your first tattoo?
16, I think.
That's illegal, I'm sure. I think it's 18, you're supposed to.
16. Because I think at the time I went to the tattoo artist and they were like, you can get it as long as a responsible adult is with you. So I was like, great, I'll have it.
Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, it was on the top of my back, and it was my Taurus sign, actually. And it was built into a tribal tattoo.
10 inches?
Not quite, but it's from shoulder to shoulder.
Wow. My kids are really interested. There was quite a lot of tattoo shops on the way to football, and they were like, when can we quite like a tattoo? And I was like, oh yeah. I said, I'm happy to take. Do you know what a tattoo is? And they were like, it's just because when the kids go to parties and they get the sticker ones, and they thought, oh, a really nice shop where you could go and I'm like, it's little injections and you would actually bleed. And they were like, oh no. I was like, no, it's fine. I'll take you. But did it hurt?
It tingles a little bit.
It tingles a little bit.
I think I'd rather have a tattoo than a bite from a spider.
Really?
So the worst pain that I've had is when I had the front of my shin tattooed. And because it's onto the bone, it basically sends a vibration to your brain.
Goodness me. I imagine when I see people with the tattoos on their hands, that must be really painful too.
I just think you're much more hardcore than me because I don't even like having my blood taken.
Everything that I've got means some sort of value.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah.
I get it.
Are your dogs allowed on the furniture? And upstairs too? Double question.
If I turn the camera around now, you'll see one sleeping on the sofa and one sleeping in the bed.
Hey.
So, yes, they are.
We got a really expensive new sofa, Sean. So we were like, right, dogs not allowed on this.
For the first time.
So we tell the kids that dogs aren't allowed on it. And then when the kids, they don't listen to the podcast, when they've gone to bed or they're not there, I sneakily let them on because I can check all for cleanliness and clean. And I'm like, come on then, up you get. Because there's nothing better than a little smooch with the dog on the sofa. Mm-hmm. But we have rules now. So that mine is still allowed, but there's some guidelines for cleanliness.
Yeah, no, we had a new sofa a couple of years ago and it lasted about a week.
It's quite a lot of hard work to keep going. And then they go, but this is the best place.
Yeah.
The best place now.
I love a cuddle. on the sofa. Bucket list race, Sean?
I'd like to go and do a UTMB. After being in South Africa and seeing the race over there, I'd like to do the UTMB that goes over Table Mountain.
Oh, yeah. That'd be incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to weave that into this question. Who's your favourite football team?
Liverpool Football Club. But being brought up in Kidderminster, where I was born, I still follow my local team, Kidderminster Harriers.
I've been to see Kiddie a few times. Got a friend who's a Kiddie fan.
We're actually playing in Southport on Saturday, final game of the season. I'm heading over there, so I need to get a run done early doors, get the train over. They've potentially got a chance of winning the league, so Sunday could be a bit tender.
Good luck.
What a day.
They have sensational football food, Eddie.
I was going to
Sandwiches.
ask, what's the football? Is it
They're,
pie?
they're famous for their pies.
I
Yeah.
thought it was pie.
Incredible.
Okay.
So Liverpool on Saturday could be a bit of a party for both.
Okay, then, so you can score the winning goal at the weekend, or you could win your bucket list race. One or the other.
Ooh.
Team or me?
Does the team still get to win if I don't score?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, then I'd take the running race.
Excellent. Fantastic. Okay, Eddie and I, we're banging on your door. We are famished, Sean. You're going to have to rustle us up your signature dish. What's it going to be?
Ooh, spaghetti and meatballs.
Classic. We can do veggie meatballs too. I love the spaghetti meatballs. Do you have a favourite app or the most used app on your phone?
Ooh, it would probably be Instagram and Skyscanner.
I like a bit of Sky Scanner.
I love trying to find a cheap weekend getaway, because if I could jump on the plane and try and find a trip to Madeira or Mallorca or something for £30, I'll be on that plane, get a couple of runs in over there and come back.
Okay, it's Instagram story music, Sean. When we do our Instagram story post for your episode, what song is it going to be?
I'd probably just go with whatever's trending and pops up for me.
What kind of music do you like? Are you like indie?
I'm not fussy. I'll go with the flow. I don't mind anything, but
Watch out, I'll choose, and then you'll be like, oh my God.
but I'm relaxed when it comes to music.
Do you listen to music when you train?
I don't when I go out for my daily runs. During my races, I don't tend to listen to music, but I did on the 100 just to sort of break it up a little bit. When I first started running, I couldn't run without music. And then now I can't even think of anything worse than trying to run with music. I'd rather
Maybe your story will just
stick
be
a little
silent
tea and
then.
trails podcast on. That'd be better.
We'll
wouldn't it?
just be silent. It'll have no music.
Yeah,
Just
but
be-
I think being a trail runner, mountain runner, you don't need music when you got the views.
I do. I don't want to be in my thoughts. I put my music on as loud as possible. I can't hear anybody. Mama!
I think I might stick it on if I'm at the top of Crib Gock, so I can't hear my own heart rate. But other than that,
Yeah.
I can't hear my beer.
yeah.
Oh, Sean, thanks so much for coming, sharing just a little nugget of your journey into trail running. It's lovely to put a little bit of the story to your face as well. And we look forward to, we'll be refreshing that UTS app, no pressure. Seeing
We'll see
how
you
get on
in
and
Simbees next year. Guaranteed.
See you, yeah, absolutely. Give Gary a run for his money. Best of luck with
Excellent.
everything. Thanks so much for giving up your time today.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Take care. Thanks. Bye. Thanks, Harrier Trail Running, for sponsoring our Strava Club and Tales from the Trail section. Harrier is the UK's fastest growing brand for trail runners, providing specialist kit designed for superior fit, comfort and function with the best customer support. Check them out for race vests, waterproof poles and other trail essentials at www.harrierrunfree.co.uk, where you can also download your free copy of How to Run an Ultra Guide. Use the code T10 for 10% off site-wide, or check out their brilliant trail bundles for a special 20% off. Harrier have a pro trail team too. They'll be training and racing in the latest Harrier gear, pushing it to the limits and helping Harrier make their products even better. And it was great to see Callum from the pro trail team crush it at the Dukeries 40 at the weekend. He took the win and a new course record. Heavy flex. First up in the Strava Club is Phil Smith with a total mileage of 62.7 and a long run 60.2 with 16,678 feet of vert. Now, Phil has been racing in Poland. The pictures, oh my goodness, Phil, the pictures looked incredible. I hope you had a blast. Next up is Lee Thompson, 83.3 miles for the week with the longest run of 80 miles, total elevation of 8,898 feet. Request to follow, but what I've been racking my brain. I know they had the Thames Path race at the weekend. I checked the results. Lee wasn't a DNF on that race. So what was that 80 miler? Either way, incredible, Lee. That is sensational. Next up, another request to follow. Lucy Parker, 63.1 miles for the week, 63.1 21 miles, longest run and 12,380 feet of verse. Yeah, another request to follow, but woof, that's a massive run. Heavy flex this week goes to the final finish of the 2025 Thames Path 100. Vincent Cook coming over the line with 74 of the 90,000 seconds to spare. Amazing, amazing, Vincent. Heavy flex.
I've got another heavy flex for you too. Same event, but he created his own event. Dave Phillips, he set a new FKT along the full Thames Path. He started at the barrier in Woolwich, joined the Thames Path 100 race and continued all the way to the source near Kemble, covering the full 184 miles in an incredible 33 hours and 22 minutes.
Dave, I'd love to have a chat with you, Dave.
Oh, Dave. And I love that Centurion supported that and were like, okay, you can come along, get a nice little warm up, join the race. I bet he was so grateful for those aid stations and then wave everybody off at the finish. Love to hear more about that. I love that. Incredible.
People might be familiar with Dave's name. I remember seeing Dave at the Lakeland. I'm not too sure which event he was doing. I was spectating. He's done like a Lakeland 50, Lakeland 100, that kind of race. And also he won the 2024 Northern Traverse. So yeah, Dave's got some legs on him. Incredible running.
Got some legs on him. Got a new feature. We've got a new feature on the podcast.
We need a jingle.
We need a jingle.
Workout of the week.
Workout of the week. Maybe we could just insert your M&M.
3 times 10 or 20, 20, 20. Who knows what Eddie's gonna say?
Who knows what Eddie's gonna... We thought maybe we could just insert your M&M song in there. Give one to a friend, give the workout to a friend. We often talk about our workouts and then often we get meth sliding into our DMs. What was the work? What was that workout? What's the rest? What's the recovery? So we thought... let's bring it all together. I'm going to pop this on Facebook too. Every week I'm going to give a little suggestion of a workout. It might not just be me. I might slip into your DMs, dear listeners, and say, what's your favourite workout? And share it. There is no limit to this workout. So we're going to start with an absolute classic, Gary.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We've got to start with that one, haven't we? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah. Now, many ways that you can do this. And this is what I love. Because also, if you're just coming back from, let's say, an ultra or a marathon, you ran London Marathon, this might be your first workout back because you can just ease into it. How do my legs feel over 5 minutes? Oh, they feel terrible. I'm going to do 4 minutes. I'm going to do 3. Oh, they feel a bit better. I'm going to do 2 and I'm going to 1. If you're in a big load of training and you're looking for a little bit more in the numbers, you can do 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. If you find, my hammies are a little bit sore, you can do 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3 and stop and not do the faster ones. The biggest thing of this workout is that you want to try and get a little bit faster on each of those reps. So it's a great one as well if you like to sandbag like me and Gary, because you can just start off quite nice and easy. 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. If you're on the treadmill, you can do it slightly uphill as well. You don't need super long recovery because it's not a super long rep and we're not going super hard. So I would say 2 minutes max. 2 minutes max. And if you want to make it harder, you can have less recovery between the 2 and the 1 minute. And you can do it for 1 minute. So you can do it anyway, but you can fit it into 30 minutes. And that's what our workout of the week is going to be. We're going to try and make it so that you can fit it into like a 45-minute slot as well. So with a little bit of warm up, 10, 15 minutes, throw a few strides in there, 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, getting quicker every one, couple of minutes between each rest. You're going to feel sensational. And it is one that you can then go inside, grab a quick drink, and you can be set off for the rest of the day. It's not a bone crunching, muscle tearing, exhausting workout. I thought it was just a nice one to start off our new little feature. Not going to be so nice next week, but I'm going to pop it onto Facebook. I'll pop it there maybe on Sunday night. So then everybody's got a week. If you do it, let us know how it goes. If you've got a picture of your sweaty, beautiful face afterwards, you can put it on there as well. Gary and I, should we incorporate this in? We need to, don't we, really? It's a good workout for you, actually, next week.
I need to check out what my schedule is.
Not my Garmin plan. It's not my Garmin plan. It's not what the GI, it's not what I
I've got to say, though, like if you've got like a ruptured hamstring or something, do not do the workout over the week. Be responsible for yourself. I'll give it a go.
Let's see how it goes. Might never appear this feature again next week.
Tales from the trails.
Dear Eddie and Gary, apologise in advance for the long email. I just wanted to write to you both to explain the huge and positive impact that the podcast has had on my life over the last few months. This is a great story, everybody. I've been saving this one. On January, I flew to New Zealand for a big solo adventure. Back in the UK, I used to live in Guildford and run with Leroy Valentine. So when I came across your episode with him, I decided to give the podcast a listen. I loved that episode, so I went back to episode 1 and have been binging the whole show since. Your podcast has been the soundtrack to my whole trip. At the beginning, when I was homesick and still finding my feet, listening to your British accents was like a comfort blanket and a reminder of home. While I've been out here, I've been camping, hiking and running every day. When I was doing some really sketchy, scary solo summits, I put your podcast on to make me feel less alone and brave. Your voices gave me courage and inspired me. I've been listening to you both and the guests in awe, and I've often reminded myself that other people have done much harder things which has helped when I've been pushing the limits of my comfort zone. Whenever I felt lonely or needed a distraction after saying goodbye to a new but temporary friend on the road, your innuendos and general twittering made me laugh out loud and smile to myself. You're going to like this episode then, aren't you? On the days when I had long drives, the podcast kept me company and the hours flew past. Eddie, when you were emotional during the episodes about the spine and Winter 200, I cried with you too and drove while sobbing along. During an ultra marathon I ran while I was out here, when it got hard, I wanted to be sick and for it all to stop. I reminded myself to breathe and believe, and it became my mantra for the whole trip. Whenever I've had a wobble, the podcast has rung in my ears and reminded me that I probably just need to eat. I've learned that if you give the brain some fuel and sleep a bit more, you really will be okay. If in doubt, stop, sit down and have a snack. Yes. When I first came out to New Zealand, I didn't know what I was going to do next or if I was even going to come back to the UK. For a while, I've wanted to live in the lakes, and listening to Gary describe his regular trips to the lakes was the final push that led me to deciding to move to the lakes. Then I heard the episode with Shane Oley, which led me to a Career events and ended up applying to work with them this summer. I'm now flying back to the UK in a few days and so excited to be moving to the Lake Districts next week. My application to Career events was successful, and I'm proud to say I will be part of the event site crew included at the Tea and Trails Festival. So thank you for all the time and effort you put into the podcast. I'm learning so much from it. I now have the biggest list of bucket races. I'm constantly inspired and just love listening to you guys chatter away. You guys are the best. Without realizing, you've kept me company during a life-changing adventure and helped shape what my next chapter in the UK looks like. I truly can't thank you both enough. With so much love and gratitude, Sophie. Oh, that needs a moment, doesn't it, Gary? Oh, yeah. I just... Sometimes, as Gary knows, before we record, I have a nervous panic attack every time we do this. I go, is that okay? Was that okay? Was that...
Breathe and believe, Eddie.
Breathe and believe, Eddie. But Sophie, messages like that make it all worthwhile. So sorry about the twittering, but we're glad we kept you company and we can't wait to meet you at the Tea and Trails Ultra 2.
This review, you're going to need a moment for this review. I've read it a couple of times.
Let me have a sip of my tea. Hang on a second.
I did had something in my eye first time I read it.
Oh, no, I've not read this. This wasn't in.
This came on
preparation
a message via Patreon. Hi, I've never message creators or influencers. If I'm doing something wrong, I'm sorry. I just wanted to share the reason I decided to subscribe to your Patreon. I've been a listener on Spotify for around 3 months now since I found my love for running again and spotted someone in the Peak District wearing your snood. I started listening and found it was exactly what I wanted in a podcast. It was people who were as passionate about the outdoors and adventures as I felt. It's presented in such a fun, friendly way, and that came to help me in a big way. So, on to my reason. Unfortunately, I have recurrent issues with my mental health. This is mostly in the form of a really dark depression that can just cripple me for long periods. I was driving to Wales for 2 days in the mountains when I felt that black cloud creep in. It was like all my self-esteem drained away, and I pulled into the service station, fully prepared to pull the plug on my whole trip and return home to suffer it out. I was looking for something to play on the way home and decided on the Tea and Trails podcast. My hope was the noise would keep my head quiet enough so I could get home without too much dark thinking. As I sat and listened to you two chatting and laughing, talking about your training and your weeks, my whole brain chilled out and my brighter outlook started to come back. It was like sitting with a group of normal friends, just chatting about running and having a good laugh. Within half an hour, I had reversed the black cloud and I was once again excited to get on the high ground. I ended up having 2 wonderful days. That trip would not have happened without you two. And I can't tell you how much, but I can show you a little bit by giving you a little financial support to keep the lights hot and the mics on. Thanks so much, Anonymous. I'm glad that we could help. And I'm glad you reached out. And also, thank you so much for joining Patreon. I'm glad you turned it around. But I always think we do get lots of messages like that. And yeah, it's great that we've got this platform and a little vessel. And we do, Eddie and I hope it comes across. We do actually love chatting with each other for a couple of hours a week. But you do everything that you do, it comes from within you. You've got everything that you need within you. And yeah, if we can kind of tease it out, then that's such a privilege to be able to do that. But yeah, thanks so much for that.
I know how much joy the podcasts I listen to every week, they bring me on my run, and I love listening to. So invested. I don't know, but wow. A bit blown away by today, Gary. We've had a show of highs and lows. Thank you, Protein Rebel, for bringing us home. Gentle on your stomach, driving your performance. Whether you're trying to get a PB, training for your first marathon, or completing your 10th Ultra, you overachiever, you. Protein Rebel products are easy to digest with no artificial additives, providing both performance and overall health benefits. We got a new competition, some Summits Socks goodies. We're also throwing in, because we love you all, a Tea and Trails hoodie into the pie spot. Super simple. Pop over to Instagram, like this post, share the post to your stories, follow at Tea and Trails and at Summits UK. And in the comments, mention what would be your bucket list mountain to summit. The competition closes at midnight on 31st of May 2025, and this competition is for Instagram only. 2 winners will be contacted by direct message. Did you read that they are going to clamp down on people that can climb Everest, and you're going to have to have climbed, you're going to have a climbing CV, basically?
I
see.
Did you read this?
Yeah.
No.
Apparently they've tried to do this before and it didn't work, because it's obviously all about money as well, isn't it?
Just rich people doing it.
Yeah, interesting. Anyway, so pop it down if you want to put Everest as your bucket list mountain to summit.
What would be your mountain? Well, I can't remember the name of it. It's a Finnish mountain. It's quite an interesting story because they don't have many mountains in Finland, but this mountain range straddles Norway and Finland, and the Finns kind of have adopted it. They got a peak, the biggest peak on the mountain range is in Norway, but there's also quite a decent peak too that is in the Finnish side of it. So yeah, I'd like to do that.
I'd like to pretend that I was like a really cool mountaineer chick that like North Face sponsored and say like, yeah, well, Annapurna, I'd like to just, there's some routes up there that I think are undiscovered, but I don't have one particular one that I'd want to climb, but I know who I'd want to be at the top with me. Can we change it that way? And go, I just love climbing a Munro with my kids and getting to the top. And the adventure and the story that there always is. There's always drama.
The wind. Remember the last time, the wind.
I did suggest at the weekend when we had the free Sunday, we're like, we could go and get another Munro. And I thought, I've not got that. I've not got that in me. Cool prize. Look forward to seeing what sort of summits you guys come up with. What's coming up?
What's coming up? I'm straight into the taper.
Straight into the taper. Okay. Eddie can get on board with this.
Hopefully I can find a little bit of space so I can do some of my body weight and a bit of mobility ahead of all counting tops, because we've talked about injury prevention. I notice it if I neglect that I could probably do maybe 10 days. Then after that, my little back, it's like, oi, Gary.
Oi, what you doing?
Local trails, though, not off to the lakes, unfortunately. I've been offered a lift to the lakes too on Saturday, and I've had to turn it down.
Yeah, I think probably you can do a bit of parenting, can't you, now, and actually...
imagine that. Imagine that. What a shocker.
Hi, I'm your dad.
And I will do one workout, and hopefully I will be heat champ. I do not want to go into the old county tops week when I'm trying to cram in all that heat training to be like heat champ before the race. So if I can be heat champ and have a nice little easy week ahead of that race. What about you?
I love it. Exciting. We've gone from one race to another. Your life is just rock and roll. Mabezzi's coming back, so that'll be nice. By the time this goes out, he'll be back. Woo! I'm going to try and do my long run though before he comes back, so that we can have a bit of...
You're going to love bomb him.
Love bomb. Woohoo! Then I don't know how to tell that story. It's a little bit too much overshare. So what have I got coming up? I'm going off with some hill reps. Me and Debbie Martin Gansani, we are going to do something. I'll tell you all about it next week, but it's 10,000 foot avert.
Sweet.
Exciting, nice little day trip. That's my little present for single parenting. I'm giving myself a day off. I'm giving myself my bank holiday a week late. So that I'm looking forward to going somewhere different. I just love it when you can go somewhere different where you've not been before. I'm going to do a new adventure. So I've got a 100-miler in a month, Gary. Oh, it seems ages since I've done anything. So I'm going to, like you know, when you said you've done London Marathon and then you did like within 6 days. So I will cram in. I'm going to do a little like within 6 days. I'll have probably covered 100 miles.
Yeah.
Which is a lot for me because I'll get my long run in and then I'll get a big day with Debs in as well. But that comes at just the right point in the plan where I just push it a little bit, push the volume a little bit, and then start to go down the volume as well. As ever, we'll be sweating in my new core suit. Can't wait that the zips are not broken and do that up. It's just too baggy around the middle. And I feel like it's Michelin Man. So I pull it together with like old hairbands.
I love the photographs. Keep them coming.
He loves it every time, I think. And I don't do it at the beginning. Oh no, I do it at the end when I'm only that could
all
be
the good stuff happens at the end.
That could be a good new Instagram account. Post heat training selfies.
OnlyFans.
So yeah, big week, lots of nice volume, lots of sessions. The sun is shining in beautiful Scotland. Couldn't ask for much more of the weather. Thank you, baby J. At the moment, looking forward to hearing how your taper legs feel next week. This has been a fun episode, Gary. We've had highs, we've had lows, laughter, tears.
Roller coaster.
It's been a roller coaster, and I'm in it. I love it. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We love you. Share the episode, share the pod, share the love. Pop over to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, subscribe, or even consider, like I did this week, step up and join Patreon. It's a great space over there. Loads going on.
I'm not going to get a notification.
There's nothing
cancelled
going on. Yeah, I got the codes. I'm not stupid. Screenshot those codes. I'm mad.
Oh, shut up, my God. Delete that out.
We need to do more over at Patreon. I keep saying that, but there's not enough minutes in the day. Thanks. When I retire, Patreon's going to become an absolute
orgy.
It's going to be good. An orgy. Thanks to X-Miles for Fuel Hydration, Phoenix Lights UK, Harrier Trail Running, Protein Rebel, and Shocks for sponsoring this week's show. Here are your discount codes: T15 2025 for Shocks, T15 for Protein Rebel, Tea Time, my favorite time, 2025. It's not in the code, by the way. That is just Tea Time 2025. Fuel Hydration and T10 for Harrier Trail Running. Thank you to our partners, patrons. We couldn't do this without you and your ongoing support.
Good luck to everybody out on the trails. And fingers crossed if you are one of them. It was over 1 million people in the 2026 London Marathon.
1 million people want to run on that route. You guys are mad.
Not great odds, yeah, but fingers crossed. Also, got loads of friends and listeners on the start line for the lap and the Hardmoor's White Horse Trail series. There'll be a 10K half marathon and a full marathon too. So yeah, best of luck to everybody toeing the line this week. And whatever you're up to, we hope the trail rises up to meet you and the wind is always on your back. Be kind to your future self, breathe and believe, and progress, not perfection. My name is Gary Thwaites.
And I'm Eddie Sutton.
And that was episode 120 of the Tea and Trails podcast.
Or what shall forever be known as the M&M's episode.
Let's see what my DMs have installed this week. I'll probably delete it. I'll be listening to it and just cringing.
Oh, no, you mustn't. You mustn't delete it. And you can keep in the bit where I call you babe as well, because that is hilarious.
All right. Sweet.